Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking in the video, man. It means a lot to you guys. Keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. And today, we're talking about the second episode, which I feel like was a really good episode with a ton of camp life scenes, really getting to know most of the cast. We have advantages being found, a big blind side, crazy edits. It's a very important episode in the development of the season, and specifically the edits of both Carson and of course the crazy but also very prevalent Carolyn on this season. So let's get into it. If you guys haven't already, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff because it's free, it's easy, and it really helps the channel out. Okay, so the episode opens up with the Orange Tribe coming back from Tribal. Of course, Brandon is shocked to have basically saved his game with the idol play. Apparently he thought that he was just playing it to get rid of it, but it ended up saving him, and he no longer trusts Kane. He sees Kane as like a serious op to him. Now we actually see Gathu confirm what I said last week, which was that this was on purpose for him not to take a side, because now Gathu has no blood on his hands. We also see Jamie kind of being like heralded as the first person to have her shot in the dark work. I don't know why. I mean, it's not very impressive. It's all luck, but you know, whatever. And Brandon says that he's going to act nice, but he really does not trust these people. And specifically, he does not trust Kane. Kane tells us that he has to do some damage control, as although the majority of the tribe wanted him to go, he's the only one who's still here who actually voted for Brandon. We then move over to the Green Tribe, where we see that there's a budding romance happening at the current moment. Something that we haven't seen for a while in this new era where everyone's coming in as like a robot with no emotions. It's pretty rare to see, something like this. We have Matt, and this is not Gathu, this is Matt, the straight Matt. Really likes Franny. And it's weird because they're like both very nerdy, so they're obviously connected in that way. But they're both still wary that they're putting targets on, their backs. So they keep saying, hey, we probably shouldn't hang out today a lot or whatever. But they still really like each other, and it seems like they do want to spend a lot of time with each other. Of course, there are people on their tribe who don't really like this as much. In fact, the entire tribe points out to them that they are kind of putting a target on their back, and specifically Claire tells us that she is not a fan and she thinks it's so stupid. She really does get a very negative edit here, talking about how she just hates this young love. It's so evil, and it's pretty obvious that the show is kind of building her up to be either a late pre-merge villain boot or a merge villain boot, because they showed her with the biggest stink look on her eyes when she was looking at the couple. So it seems like she's definitely not a fan, but the entire tribe kind of realizes how big of a threat they are, and it doesn't look good for them strategy-wise in the near future. Speaking of the Green Tribe, on the Green Tribe, we see Danny basically find this cage idol. So he goes out and looks, and he finds the key. He's alone, and he waits for the right time, opens the cage, and puts back that fake idol that they get. And his tribe has no idea. He makes it out clean like a bandit. Meanwhile, over on the Purple Tribe, Carolyn finds the key while they're all kind of group searching. Of course, Carolyn stumbles upon a snake, and that kind of scares off the rest of the people, but Carolyn keeps looking after that, finds it, and now she has this decision. Do I go now, go later? She just is so worried, and she picks a time. She goes, and she's opening it up, and as soon as she starts to hear footsteps, she panics, and she puts the bag back in the cage. She takes the idol, but she doesn't close the bag properly. So when they all get back, and she's back at camp just chilling out, they see that it is completely tampered with, and someone has to have it. Now, by they, I mean the 4 other people on that tribe. So it's not a very good look to start out, but apparently they're all just idiots, because they all start kind of blaming each other in their confessionals, talking about how I think that it has to be Sarah, I think it has to be Carson, I think it has to be Jam, which is really good for Carolyn. They all think she's just too dumb to find it. And so it's very curious to see if she'll keep this secret in the future. But for now, both of them have kept it a secret. At the challenge, it's pretty basic, but it ends in one of those pull puzzles where you're pulling with both strings and you're pulling a ball up this slithery snake. And of course, the Orange Tribe does very well. They are in first place by a mile, and they end up winning. And it's really all because of Gathu. Gathu tells everyone out loud that he had built these challenges in his backyard and played them to practice for coming on the show. Some people have said this is kind of putting a target on your back. I don't really think it's that deep. I think in the moment he was just happy to win, and Jeff had asked him like how, like did you do so good at that? So he said the truth. Maybe not the best idea, but I don't think it's that serious. And we of course see the Purple Tribe lose. So it's a tribe of 5, and really the main alliance to this point has been Carson, Helen, and Sarah Wade. They're kind of the calm people on the tribe, whereas in Jam Jam and Carolyn are the crazy people. They have big personalities. They're hilarious, at least in my personal opinion. And so it's really Carson in the middle, because Carson is actually playing both sides. Carson tells Carolyn and Jam Jam that he is actually going to go with them and essentially flip. Now, Carolyn's wary of this, and she also has an idol, so she's really having trouble figuring out whether or not to play her idol here and trust Carson. You know, the dilemma is, if you play it and then Carson flips with her in Jam Jam, then she's kind of lost his trust and she's lost an idol. But of course, she doesn't want to go home on day 5 because she thought that she didn't need to play her idol. Me personally, if I was in her spot, I would totally play it. I'm all about, hey, if I go home 3rd, I'm fine, but I'm not going home 2nd right now with an idol in my pocket. That's just not going to happen. And so to me, I think she does make the wrong choice here, but obviously it works out because Carson does flip over to her side. Now, the key thing is that Helen is saying to him, you know, like, we're good, we're good. Sarah's saying we're good, but Sarah doesn't have a vote. So even if Carson had stayed with these 2 girls, he'd still be in trouble because they've only have to 2 votes combined. So it would have gone to a tiebreaker. Where it goes from there, I have no idea. I'm guessing eventually the target between Jam Jam and Carolyn, who was Carolyn, would still go home. But that's a really, really close call. Now, Carson didn't know this, but luckily he just flips over with Jam Jam and Carolyn, and it ends up not really affecting him. I'm curious to see what would have happened if that was the case. Of course, Sarah will have some explaining to do, but she's kept it a secret this long, so who knows? Maybe she will continue to keep it a secret, as I believe Jeff didn't actually read out the quote-unquote last vote, so she might be able to hide it for even longer. But overall, the people who got giant edits in this episode are Carson and Carolyn. They both were really shown to be characters before players, which I really like compared to the past few seasons where we gotten a bunch of players but not much character moments. I think production really wants Carson to be kind of like how Christian was in David vs. Goliath, and Carolyn is kind of like a Debbie crazy person, like coach type of character. I really liked this episode. It really did develop the green and purple tribes, and overall I really liked the outcome with Helen, a character who wasn't very fun to watch, going home. But what do you guys think? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was Carolyn fun? Was Carolyn annoying? Let me know down below in the comments. As always, none of this happens without you guys. Without you guys, I'm just a weird guy speaking into a weird microphone. That's what I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.